Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. First day on this job site. We're heading for the backyard. Got the tripod set up. Got the tractor back here. The only reason I needed the tractor back here is we're going to regrade this backyard and flatten it out. But everything else is handwork because we can't get the tractor along that side yard there. We're going to do a walkway from the existing patio to the side yard. Here's the side yard area. Everything drains this direction too, the whole yard. So I have to put a hole through that wall so that way when the backyard floods, it drains over the new concrete. It has somewhere to go. Otherwise it would be just a pool. Now this wall here we moved back to the corner of the house because it was beyond the corner of the house. So we cut it, broke it out. We're going to put some new block, move it back a little bit to give a little more space in that back area for a possible shed or something. So before I started grading this backyard, I wet the soil down a little bit to keep the dust down. There's a lot of gravel. There was a hole that where the old jacuzzi was that we took the gravel that was spread throughout this backyard. We dumped it into the hole along with other spoils. There was some kind of a weed fabric under the gravel, so we removed that, and that's not going to go in the jacuzzi hole. That's going to go to the trash. Here's your sidewalk setup that goes from existing patio to new side yard. You've got to step down there, and here's your block wall going up. So we're going to do the block wall on its independent footing. Get the wall up, pour the slab against the wall. We're going to put 3/8 rebar on 2-foot centers, both directions, through the walkway and side yard. The main reason I like the rebar is because when the concrete does crack, and inevitably it will crack, the rebar just kind of holds those cracks from shifting up or down or pulling apart. That's what reinforcement does, and that's why it's a good idea to use it. No matter how many joints you have, the steel reinforcement holds all that stuff together, so you don't get independent slabs just doing whatever they like to do. Now on that back wall, you can see that expansion foam I have there. And actually I doubled that up, went double thick on it. So I've got 1 inch because that's where my water runoff is. So when I core the hole through, that's below the expansion joint. And I tear out that expansion joint after I pour. I have a 1 inch wide trough that will collect water and shoot it through the 3-inch hole, which will inevitably go to the street. Here's my little diagonals on the corners. There's the new wall, and you can see the color difference between new pink block and old pink block. It's pretty substantial. Now you can see the top of the hole I cored through there, but what you can't see is the 3-inch below it, which is nice because you don't have a big gaping hole that's visible, but it's just as effective. Here we are on pour day after compaction and steel insertion. We have the pump hose inside the wheelbarrow, so the primer water, which is usually about 10 gallons, will go into the wheelbarrow. We'll get that out of the area and then continue pumping concrete. This concrete's a 3,000 psi, and I went half a pound per yard of fiber mesh, which I have available on my storefront through my website, davidodellconcrete.com. I also have some new shade hats that are really nice, also available through my website. On this side yard, I created a valley through there, so the water runs away from the block wall, in other words, away from the neighbor's property, as well as away from the house, and it channels down the middle, right where I put the hole through the wall. Now we'll verify that later after we come back the next day to strip and clean up, and we'll see where the water runs at that point. That's a 14-inch wide walking edger with a 1/2-inch radius on it. And now we're dropping a 3/4 deep 1/2-inch radius tool joints, approximately 7-foot spacing. So we still have the grade pins in the middle on that valley, which can be kind of nice because you can verify that the concrete's still at that level when you get ready to go out there when it's stiff. Now I'm going to be cutting a couple more joints as we go through this. I'm going to put one in the center between pilasters and then one on the pilaster itself. I've got some fiberglass sliders there, which I prefer over the metal ones because they're more stable. You can put them down the concrete, and when you step on them, they won't slip out from underneath you. So as I troweled this out, I actually broomed each section independently as I moved backwards. And this is kind of what it looks like, or you'd like it to look like anyway. Here's your next day on cleanup. I pulled some of that expansion foam out of there, so we have a 1-inch wide trough there, which drops into that 3-inch outlet that I cored through. We put a lot of water on here doing the cleanup, and it handled it just fine. I believe that wall is going to get stuccoed in phase 2. No water standing against the wall or the house. Everything ends up going to the middle and out. That's the goal. So now I was just kind of tinkering around with this digital Milwaukee level, this 2-footer here, and I just wanted to see what kind of slope I really had when it's said and done, because it's always interesting. We got 0.85%, almost 1% towards the valley here, away from the house. That's really ideal for walking on. Now what do we have running out? We got 1.05%. That'll carry the water. That's an eighth inch per foot. And what do we have away from this wall? See, it's a little bit steeper away from the property line. We're at 2%. So the wall side's higher than the house side, although they're still both sloping away, so it still works. Down here near the end, it starts flattening out, it looks like. We're only at 0.55% or 0.50. So that's a 1/16 of an inch per foot running towards the valley away from the house. And from the wall, see, we're still running high on that wall side at 1.50%. So we're consistent, that's for sure. We're high on the block wall. The valley is definitely the low point, though. We just verified that with the digital. So we're looking really good. And this is what it all looks like when you're said and done. Anyway, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.